Let's have some fun dialing in this 76 Marshall. See if we end up at 76, 68, 69, some combination thereof, some unique combination of features, et cetera, et cetera. The other day I did a pretty straight vanilla bright cap comparison where the channel volume didn't really change and the EQ didn't really change. And that's useful, but I wanted to show some more stuff for everyone, especially the owner of this amp, about, when you really compare things, move the knobs, see what sounds you can get. On that note, we're going to start off on the change I made to the normal channel to make it not get quite so dark. It's not bright, it's not competing with the other channel, it's just a little more usable through the entire range. And the owner asked for gave me some reference songs, things that he would love to be able to get. And he may be able to get them precisely once the amp is dialed in. I can't promise to sound exactly like any of these guys. I can promise that if any of these guys were to use this amp in the studios that they did the original tracks, they would get comparable or sometimes even better sounds. Like he wanted some Billy Gibbons. I am not Billy Gibbons. If I could play like Billy Gibbons, I would not be sitting here fixing amps. You'd be buying tickets to see me live. But I play well enough, I think, to give the impression. Now, on that note, there's some weird things about recording guitars and amps, which means that even if I had his guitar and his amplifier and his settings, and I could magically play exactly like him, it still wouldn't necessarily sound like the record because mics, mic placement, tape coloration, compression, EQ, all these things. I'm going to show that in a little bit, just to a small extent, how much of a difference in the sound moving the mic can make. I think that'll be very instructive for a lot of people who watch these videos. But we're going to start 1971, little band from Texas, on the channel 1 on this amp. I don't have any pesos, but a quarter will do in a pinch. So that sounds pretty good, even if it doesn't sound like the record. But let me move this mic. All right, so nothing on the amp has changed. My playing will be as inconsistent as ever, but the mic is in a very different place. Instead of being straight on access to the speaker, right there where the cone joins the dust coil, the dust cap, it's all the way to the side at an angle. So check out the difference in sound. I imagine if you go back to the little studio in Texas, that mic was somewhere between the two. That kind of went from bad ZZ Top to bad Jeff Beck Group. But, you know, I do what I do. Let's try some other sounds now on the other channel. That was the normal channel for channel 1 for some gain stuff. It's overlooked gem in these amps. So this kind of gets the super bass sound on that channel now. All right, tone request 2. Now we're on the channel 2. And we've got a 500 picofarad bright cap, which adds an aggression and snarl and harmonic response that we want, but it made the amp brighter. So the treble is turned down a little bit, the bass and mids are turned up to compensate. Now, I don't have a Gretsch. I don't have the big old strings on that Gretsch. I don't have that right hand. And I've only played this part about 10 seconds total, so let's see how we're doing. But this is really in the ballpark, and with the right player, and someone else recording it, this would probably be pretty much the sound that would make people happy. Well, anyway, again, I'm not an AC/DC guy. I'm not familiar with these parts. I know how the sounds are done. I know what the amps were doing. But again, let's look at the mic placement on that. Now that SM57 is back centered. Let's move it away from the cab now. I'll adjust the level to be about the same. See what the difference is between and with the mic farther back. All right, it's about a little over 1.5 feet away. Let's see what the same sound sounds like. Fuck. I hope those 3 mic position changes show you kind of how hard it is to get across to exactly what an amp sounds like, because the act of recording is a choice that you make about which sound you want to feature. There are good sounds, there are bad sounds, there are subjective sounds. I tried to give it pretty objective and use a 57 pretty much straight up close to the speaker, which most people can relate to or have at least heard. But that's not any guarantee that that's what was done on those records, even though I had different speakers and cabs and different players, etc. So let's try some other stuff that just kind of messing around here at 500 picofarad. The amp's either going to go with this 500 picofarad or we may put a switch in, and in which case I will send him some capacitors for him to try himself, a switched volume pot. But I think given the sounds, all the tones that he referenced, this is going to get there. Let me move the mic again and then play around some more. And that Billy Gibbons stuff with this setting sounds more like this. I don't have the gain up enough for that. I've got the gain right now at about 6, so about 1 o'clock. This amp can breathe some fire. I'm turning on the master a little bit for the sake of my ears and go a bit higher and see where we end up with the sound. Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. What you just heard was the channel volume at half. By the way, before I get going on the really loud stuff, I think that Billy Gibbons was jumpering his channels on his Marshall on the brown sugar because the sound on the record is right in between the two sounds that you've heard here. And to me, it sounds like an off-axis mic. I don't know whether it's 57 or Unidyne or whatever they had lying around. The magic was mostly in him, but I think his Marshall was jumpered on that track. Anyway, so now I've got the channel volume up at. Oh, look, it's dimed. I think we can go up on the masters a little bit over that. Let's make it a little less bright. I am sitting too close to the amp. If I were actually playing this beast live, I'd be 10 feet away most of the time with my body between the guitar and the amp. I'm just on the verge of too close unless I was going for a feedback effect. That's some chewy goodness, but now we need to try a Strat, don't we? All right, I didn't grab the one with the thornbuckler in the bridge. I wanted a representative Strat, just coincidentally tuned to E flat. This thing would sound excellent with a fuzz. But given the gain difference between these pickups and those humbuckers you just heard, you can see why people started using boost pedals, or why Marshall then, after this, came out with a cascaded gain for more gain. So the Strat guys could get in on the full sustain thing. Listen to the sustain. But let's go back to the clean stuff now before we take a break. All right, let's go for some channel 1 cleans. Remember, I changed the channel 1 voicing a little bit, and I want it to be a useful channel in its own. So think super bass to JTM 45 clean kind of approach. Not bright, but not muffled. Did I do that in the wrong key? Really great dynamics on both channels, but everyone's played a clean, semi-clean Marshall channel 2. I wanted to show that channel 1 should get some love.